So if you can see right now, this is the percentage, right? I can do also one thing. So this is the percentage age is calculated based upon the DAX measure which we have used over there. However, if you don't want to do that, or there's no such requirement, because we can use this particular percentage age, not percentage, that is simply percentage in some of our calculation, then in that case we have to calculate it, right? But what if we just have to show it over here only? So there is another way. You can do one thing. Have your number of shows again pulled into the value section. Again drag it to the value section. Number of shows.
Yes, sir.
From your field section, number of shows is already ticked, right? Again pull it into the table, right? And now click on the three drop down over there. Yeah, expand it first. No, 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 not from here. Expand the table first. Expand it. Yes. So in your visualization section, there is a drop down besides number of shows. The second one, the last one, number of shows. Not this one, the last one. Yeah. Just select over there. Show value as, yeah, percentage of grand total. So if you can see, you are getting the same result, right?
Yes, sir.
So this I forgot to tell you yesterday, that this is also one way if you have to calculate the percentage of grand total. Now you can select the measure, the percentage one. Okay. So instead of if you return, do one thing,
Yes,
create a
sir.
variable again where result something like that, and put that divide val under that variable. Create one
Sir, not
variable,
understand.
cut this divide val, cut this complete thing. Yeah, control plus X. I asked you to do control plus X because you have to write it again over there in the variable. Control Z. Yeah, select all and cut this. Control X.
Okay.
Else you have to write it again. Okay. Before return, write down where result. Before return, shift plus enter. Where result. You guys already know that these are the the variable names. I can give anything, right, over here,
Yes, sir.
result, or maybe variable main result, something like that. It's on you, right? But you should give the the name which is quite useful over here, that should be used basically. So this is your final result, right? So that is the reason what we have done, we have called where result. You can write down equal to and then paste the logic. Fine. Now after return, do one thing. First return val.
Sir, after, before.
After return, you have to write down val. What you want to do, you calculated three variables, right, before return. But what you want to return, you just want to return your val variable, not write, just write val. VAL, the variable which you declared in first row. Yeah. Just click on commit and remove the percentage format. Click on commit first, the tick. Yeah. Once it is done, from upside remove the percentage, because that number should not be in the percentage, right? Okay. Click on commit. do one thing, select any other measure and then reselect the measure, because the changes, it's a Power BI glitch, right? Select any other measure first and then again select that measure and then remove the percentage sign. Why it is showing still the percentage? That shouldn't be done. Okay, do one thing, remove the this particular visualization from the table visual and then again pull it, the percentage edge. Yeah. Select that, remove percentage and then again put that. Fine. So it's a Power BI glitch, right? Which I told you earlier. Most of the time it will be resolved by doing that, selecting any other measure. But over there we see that it already, converted to the normal whole number, right? But still we are seeing a percentage, so we can remove that calculation from the table visual and then again pull it to have the results cut. So if you can see, currently number of shows and percentage is same. Why? Because we are just calling, just select the measure again. Right, what we are doing over here, we are simply calling number of shows measures. Okay, there is nothing else going over there. We created a variable val, in that we called number of shows. That is what we are calling in the first measure, which we have pulled in our matrix or the table visual. Right, now do one thing, instead of val, return val all. Yes, so this is like how you can debug your code as well, right? That is why should we use variables, right? In order to understand the basic, the basic of DAX, step by step. Now you can remove, click on, yeah, yeah, fine. So if you can see what you are getting, 7278 for both the rows, right? Movie as well and TV shows, which is the sum total of your number of shows. So in order to calculate your percentage, what you want is 51 for movie, 5145 divided by the sum total of these two categories, right? So this is what you are doing over there. So in first variable, you are getting your movie and TV shows, right? Because this measure is filtered from the filter context coming from this particular table, right? For the first row, right, it is filtering your movie data, right? Number of shows filtered by movie category, and for your second row, number of shows filtered by TV shows, right? But for your val all condition, right, we have given all function over there. So what does it do? Calculate, first of all, is a context modifier, and what we are doing over there, we are saying to our calculation, don't consider if there is a filter from content category, right? So that is the reason, if there is a filter, it could be your, you know outer context filter, it could be your current filter context, which is coming from your visualization, right? There are two filters over here in terms of filter context. One is, let's suppose you have a slicer on the page, right? And maybe there is a filter on filter panel, right? And you are filtering some of the things. Okay, so what all will do, all will ignore the filter coming from the matrix in which you are calculating the result, right? This is the inner filter context. However, it also ignores the filter coming from outside. It could be from your filter panel, it could be from your slicer, it could be from other visualization in the edit interaction, right? It will ignore any of the filter coming from content category. What it means, that it will, if there is a movie, it will not filter your actual calculation, which is number of shows, which is 7278. Getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so in the next variable result, what you are doing, you are dividing your 5145 with your 7278 for the first row. So that is the reason you are getting That's 70.69 percentage. If you convert that into percentage, it will multiply it by 100 automatically. Okay.
Okay.
So this is one of the use case of all function. There would be chances that you have to use all selected in the same calculation, and that would depend on the client. How would he want to see the contribution percentage or these percentages, right? Let's suppose you have a slicer. Do one thing, instead of category, have any other field over here. Maybe remove category from here, have your subcategories.
From Netflix?
Yes, it could be from anywhere, like it will filter your data because everything is connected with your table, right? Pull subcategory on the first. Yeah, drag it to the outside.
How to do?
Just drag it, and bottom low, you're doing it very upside. Just drag it above number of shows, on top of number of shows, a bit. Yeah, now do that thing again. Fine. If not, click on the drop down. Yeah, you can do in that way as well. Fine. Okay, expand the table. So if you can see now, right, what you are getting, go to that percentage measure. Yeah, just select that. So if you can see, what we are getting now, we calculated the variable all, right? We are showing variable all in percentage for now. The one which we did from the UI, right? The second one, percentage grand total number of shows, it is calculating correctly, right? Over there you'll not have to change your DAX measure, right? If there is any other attribute in the filter context. So if you can see, currently we have a filter context coming from subcategory, right? But in the well all condition, we what we said is just ignore if there are any filters coming from your category, content category, right? So that is the reason you are seeing in percentage age you are getting the same values, right? Because we have not said our calculation, hey, you also have to ignore the filter coming from subcategory. Getting my point?
So,
Like everyone is getting the point?
No, Deepak.
So you can say, right, I'm not getting it, else we'll move further. Okay, so the thing is that in previous calculation, right, we have in the filter what we have in the filter context was category, right? So in our DAX measure, what we were doing, we are saying our DAX with the help of calculate modifier. Hey, if there is any filter coming from content category, please do not consider that filter. Show me the result, right? So for this particular table, what is the filter context? Filter context is subcategory, right? On first row, it is filtering my 7278, which is my total number of shows, and showing what is the number of shows for these subcategory, which is action and adventure for the first row, right? This is my filter context. For the second row, what's my filter context is anime features, right? what it is doing, it is filtering my 7 to 7, 8 and seeing what all number of shows are from this particular subcategory, right? So it is filtering, right? So earlier what was the case, we have a category over there rather than subcategory. We have two categories over there in the content, which is movie, another one is TV shows, right? So earlier what we have done, we have given the condition that if there is any filter coming from my content category, right, do not consider that filter, show me the total 7 to 7, 8. Okay, however over here content category is not in the filter context, right? It will ignore the filters coming from this. But what if there is no filter coming from this? The over here in this particular example, the filters are coming from subcategory, right? So that is the reason you are seeing the same number of shows, even if you have done well all, right? You are seeing 706, 57, 13 at the same number because there is no filter coming from content category. Now it's clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir. Yeah, that was.
what if we want to, calculate in the same way the number of percentage, right? There are two situations over here. If we want to, let's suppose we have a somewhere down, we have, in some of our calculation, we have subcategories, right? And I want to use subcategories for the percentage calculation. So at somewhere we have categories for the percentage calculation. I don't want to use, I don't want to create multiple measures for the same. So what I can do, if I'm having, I want to nullify or ignore the filters from the same table, what I can do, I can give a comma after category. Yeah, give a comma. Yeah, if you can write down, am I able to do Netflix? This
Yes.
subcategory is coming from Netflix, right? Do Netflix subcategory. Yeah, close this, like commit this, click on text. So as I told you earlier, right, this is not from the same table, so you cannot do this, right? If let's suppose there is something from your content table, right, it could be your description, it could be your duration, right? Do one thing, include content, any other thing from content, then this will result the, write down content, or maybe you can do one thing, content release year, click on enter. Though it is having the same result, what I want to tell you is from this, that if so that will work, the same calculation will work, will calculate the percentages if there is coming anything from content category or content release year, right? It will ignore the filter coming from that particular content category column or content release year, right? What if I want to ignore the filters, if I have in the filter context the category as well and the subcategory? So what should I do over there? Like in this particular situation, I can remove this release year.
What I have to do?
Remove the release year and comma. You have to introduce another all condition over here. Give a comma after bracket. Yeah, give a comma, all. Okay, over here you can give your Netflix subcategory. Close the parenthesis. So what we are seeing now is 7 to 7, 8, right?
Yes.
In each row. Getting my point?
Yes, sir.
There is also one thing. You can also do it in this particular way. You can remove, if you don't give anything under all, right?
Yes, sir.
It will remove everything, like whether there is any filter coming from date, or like it will remove all the filters coming from any of your data set pulled over here. Okay, do one thing. So this is one way, right? So in this particular it depends on the situation, the requirement from the client, right? How would you guys have to react on the same? What would you should do? So you can also do one thing, remove everything after all, the first all, everything, and just close the parenthesis. Yeah, that's it. Commit it. In this scenario also you will get 7 to 7, 8. You can pull anything, like let's remove this subcategory, pull maybe any of the field, maybe date or year, remove, pull year. You can see it is 7 to 7, 8, right? However, the filter is coming from calendar. So if you don't give anything in the all, it will nullify, it will ignore any of the filters coming from the filter context. Getting my point? You
Yes,
can
sir.
see 7 to 7, 8 everywhere. Now if you return result, you will get the same percentage grand total number of shows. Okay, so what all will do, so basically all function is used in Power BI to ignore the filters. That is, these filters could be outer filter context, filters coming from outer filter context, right? What is outer filter context? That is your filters coming from filter panel slicers. If you slice and dice your data from with the help of slicer on the page, right, it will ignore that. It will if you try to filter your visualization from another visualization with the edit interaction, right? If you click on a particular visualization, this visualization can be filtered, right? That it will also ignore the filter coming from those visualization as well, right? And if you just want to ignore few of the filters for your calculation, you can use those thing under all. Else you can also give all, open parenthesis, close parenthesis, right? It will ignore any of the filter coming from anywhere, any table, right? Now let me tell you about all selected. Where should we use all selected? Do one thing, have your subcategory again instead of here. Okay, so fine. Have also one thing, have your slicer on the page from subcategory. Include a slicer on the page, slicer. Yeah, this one. Don't first unselect the table and pull subcategory. Okay, you have the subcategory with you.
Yes, sir.
Do one thing, select 2, 3, 4, 5 subcategories from here, from the slicer. Right. First of all, I asked you guys to explore the visualization first. Any one of you know how to multiple select these slices?
Control plus click, right?
Correct. So what if I don't want to do control plus click? I just want to select these slicer by just a click. Anyone know how to do that?
Sorry.
So in order to multi-select your slicer, you are saying that we have to do control plus click. That is correct. But what if I don't?
Yes.
Let's suppose a user come to me, right? Business user come to me. He don't want. He's frustrated holding a control key and then click, right? He don't want to press the control key. Is there any way we can do that with just a click? We can have multiple selections.
Sir, in formatting.
Yes. Go to the formatting pane. Go to the I think slicer setting visualization visual slicer settings. I think that would be available over here. Selection. Yeah. So these are some of the settings. If you want your user to just select just one, right? He can select just one uh, value in the slicer. You can enable the first one. If you disable the multi select with control, right? Just do that. Just click over there, it will be off. Fine. And show select all option, you can on that. Now go to the subcategory slicer. Select 2 to 3 or maybe 4. Fine.
Yes, sir.
So are you seeing the difference over here? What's the difference you are seeing?
Sir, in this
That the
number
total
of
number of
shows
shows will also change.
change.
Fine.
For
Just different basically, not the same. Right?
okay.
So what is the default behavior of any of your visualization? It is filter, right? If you have a slicer on the page, what it will do, it will filter your data, right?
Yes.
This is the slicer is a outer filter context. It could be a filter from on your filter panel as well, right? So what it is doing, this is the outer filter context and number of shows it is filtering. So in the row context of your matrix, you are just seeing the subcategories which is selected over there, right? That got affected from the outer filter context, and the number of shows is also affected from the outer filter context, right? In the total you are seeing 738 only, which is the sum total of anime series, children and family movies, right? And the other two. Okay. However, in the percentage, right, you are seeing 7278 only. Why so? Because we have given a condition over there in the all, ignore the filter context, right? So go to the logic, select the logic again.
Deepak, here I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I want to write a measure for these subcategories which are selected. How to
Mm-hmm.
write that? In subcategory, I have to write. No, I mean these fields only. How to write that?
I didn't get you. Like you want to write a measure for these subcategories only, right?
Yes, yeah.
What you want
It
is
is
738 in all the rows of percentage.
yes.
That is,
I mean, uh, you are selected by using slicer right here.
yes.
But I want write to measure for this for how to write that. Is there
Didn't get
any
you. Like you want to write a measure for.
Only
in
this much
subcategory?
category.
Hmm.
Yes. Is this possible?
They want in this row it is come out be 738. only.
That is where I'm coming on, right? You guys need to wait. That is why I was saying that I'll let you guys know about all selected function.
Yes.
Okay, so currently you are seeing we have used all function over here. So what it does, it removes, it ignores filter coming from your outer filter context as well as your current filter context, which is your inner filter context, which is coming from your current matrix of visual or wherever you pull the measure. Okay. However, what's the use of all selected is if you use all selected over there, instead of all, do all selected. Okay. And the filter is coming there from subcategory. You can mention subcategory over here. Subcategory from your content. Yeah, Netflix. Fine. Now click on enter. So if you see what it is doing, it is giving you 738 in all the rows. So what is doing? What's the use of all selected? It will carry the filter coming from outer filter context, but it will ignore the filter from inner filter context. Getting my point? What it is doing, because from outer filter context we are having anime series, children and family movies, classic and cut TV, and classic movies. It carry those, what is the sum total of these four subcategory, right? But it ignores the inner filter context, which is the anime series. So it ignores that in the first row we have anime series, it shows the subtotal, it shows the total of those four. It ignores from in the second row we have children and family movies, it ignores that, it shows the total of these four. Getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes.
Is that clear now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Deepak.
Okay. So now do one thing, return result. Click on commit and convert this to percentage. Right? So now it's 100%. So for these four categories, right, you can see now the percentage GT number of show is equal to percentage. Right? But yes, instead if you do all again to the same calculation,
I have to remove Netflix.
no, keep it because you are taking filters from subcategory. So what you can see in the total as well, you are seeing 10.14%. How it is calculating?
Sir, only of this four.
Mm, no. What it is doing? Anime series, it is 138 divided by total 7728. I think that was the figure, right? Or 7738. So it depends from the client requirement. Sometimes they are interested to recalculate based upon recalculate these contribution percentage based upon their selection. Sometimes they are not interested, just they just want to see what's the contribution percentage of anime series to the total, right? They are not interested to calculate to recalculate these based upon their selection on the page. So it depends. Client can ask you for any of those requirements, so you should know whether to use if you use all, what would be the result. If you use all selected, what would be the result? Okay, that is why I told you about both the functions. Everyone is clear on this, or are there any gaps?
No, Deepak.
Okay, there is one more function that is called all except. Okay, where should we use all except? Let's suppose I want to remove all the filters. If there is any filter coming from subcategory, category, everywhere, right? but I want to keep just one filter. Like, let's suppose if there is any filter coming from category, keep that, else remove every other filters if there are any other filters. In that case, you can give the condition in all except. So basically what all and all selected will do, all will ignore the filters coming from inner filter context or outer filter context. It could be anything. It will ignore the filters which will give over there in the condition. All selected, it will keep the filters coming from outer filter context and remove the filters from inner filter context. Okay, these two are clear. What all except will do, all except will,
Yes, sir.
yeah, you were asking something.
Clear, sir? No, sir.
Okay, so what all except will do, all except will keep the filters, you know, whatever column, whatever attribute you will give over there. Let's suppose you give subcategory. So what it will do, if there is anything coming from category, if there is anything coming from date, it will ignore that. It will treat as there is no filter coming from there, right? It will keep the filters coming from subcategory only. Like if there is a subcategory in the filter context, it will return 138, 479, 27, 102 for each row. Okay, however, if there is any in the current filter context I'm talking about, let's suppose in the current filter context we have a date, so it will give 7738 for each rows or 738 for each row. Okay, that is the difference with all except. Getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we covered all these measures like related to the all function, right? All is already done, all selected, all except. If you write down all, see if there are any other functions, remove the bracket and then yeah, no, just remove one L after all. Okay, all non-blank row, all except. So these are something like, you know, these functions are basically used in your table function. So it will return, you know, if there are any, so basically where you create virtual tables, right? Just like we did for add columns and all, right, for one of our assignment. So over there, if there are any you know, blank rows in a particular table, let's suppose a subcategory we are getting blanks, right? There are subcategories like action and adventure, anime features, anime series, British TV shows, and so on. But there is also subcategories which is mentioned as blank. There is no, we are not getting any subcategory for particular rows in a particular table. So if we just want to keep to have a list of all the uh, you know, non-blank rows from there, so what it will do, it will give us the complete list of all the, you know, it will create a one columnar table in which we have just one column with all the subcategories listed, and it will ignore the blank. It will not have the blank over there, right? Getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Okay, for all cross filtered, if you hover over there, what's the definition of the same? Click on the eye icon. Okay, remove one bracket and then again put it from starting. From start, remove one bracket and then again put it. You'll see the definition, because I haven't used it so far, but I can let you know. Clear all filter which are applied to the specified table. Okay, so what it will do, which I was telling you earlier, right? So let's suppose there are filters coming from other tables, right? So it will clear that filters as well. Like, you know what we have used, we have taken the filters coming from Netflix subcategory, right? There is another thing called I think subcategories from subcategory table as well. Okay,
Yes, sir.
so if we are using that particular table, we can make use of this particular function. Okay,
Yes, sir.
That is why this is all cross filtered, because you know, if you are able to filter any data from another table, so that is basically called cross filtering, right? Your one data is in your one table and your other data through which you are trying to filter your data in this particular table, that is basically called cross filtering. You try to filter the data from second table from first, right? So that is called cross filtering. So all cross filtered you have to give if you are giving some condition from another table, right? You can make use of this particular, or you know, this logic, you know, I haven't used so far in my reporting. What we use is all except sometimes we use all selected, we use, and all we use, right? All non blank rows we use, and that are rarely used, right? Most of the things are all selected and all except all. Okay, so what's next? Let's talk about time intelligence functions then, right? So you can use all over here, or maybe all selected. Yeah, use all selected, because all, I think it's clear for everyone, right? However, maybe if I ask you about all selected later on, maybe you guys forget. Okay, do you guys know what is time in what all are time intelligence functions available in Power BI? Anyone? Okay, do you guys understand what is called MTD, YTD? What does it mean? QTD? Okay.
MTD means month to date, YTD means year to date,
Yeah,
right?
correct. So that is, you give me the full form. What do you understand by this? What is? Give me an example. What do you understand by MTD or YTD?
Mm, no, I have to know that.
Okay. So what is MTD or YTD? Month to date, right? So Shivani, do one thing. Have another page. Open another sheet.
Yes, sir.
Right. Over here, pull slicer from date. Not slicer, sorry. Table. Convert it to table. Convert it to table. Then date. Fine. So what you have over here is 1 January, 2nd January, 3rd January, 4th January, 5th January, and so on, right? So what would be, yeah. Anyone is asking anything?
Nothing, Deepak.
Okay. So what is month to date? Okay. So for a month to date, if I'm on a row, okay, instead of date, do you have month? Yeah, you have the month, right?
Yes,
Pull
sir.
something instead of date, have your year first, then month, name, year,
The month name or month?
month name, full month name, right? Let it. Have you not sorted this month name with the month? Select the month name. Select it. Fine. Go to the, yeah. Sort by column. No, no. I just want you to sort it by month month. Yeah. In this. So now you are getting January, February, March, April, May, June. Okay. So have a matrix for this. Have a matrix.
Yes, sir.
Instead of table, have a matrix. Fine. And move month name to rows. Fine. Now do one thing, drill it down to the next level and expand the table. No, not like this. Drill it down. Click on the button for the drill down. Yeah, and then yeah, the next one, next one, next one, next. Yeah, this one. So that it will expand 2008, January, February, March, April, right? And now do one thing. Have a slicer on the page from year. Okay, fine. Uh, Convert this to a drop down slicer.
This one?
Yeah, this one, a drop down slicer, or maybe the list one, that would be fine. Click on the you know besides clear filters icon. If you top of the slicer, if you see
Over here.
over there in the slicer, yeah, on your right there are two small icons. Below that, yeah, there is a icon. If you hover above this header, go upside a bit. Yeah, these two. This is for clear selection, and besides that, yeah, if you click over there, you will see the option for drop down list. Just click there. Try to click. Don't move. Click. Click it.
What happening?
Click over there. Click. Yeah. Click it. You missed the
Not
chance.
happening, sir.
Click
Yeah.
it. Yeah. Convert it to drop down or maybe list. Anything would work. Okay. Now drag it to your right. Yeah. Squeeze it. Take it to the top. Or maybe expand to the top. Fine. Fine. Now select just 1 year, which is the maximum year. Go to here, scroll down. Select the 2021. Okay, fine. So though we do not have the data, complete data over here, right? That's because I believe there is no data, right? I don't know how you have created calendar table. Have you make use of calendar auto?
No, sir, it is already given. I have not created it.
Okay, fine. So that is the reason, right? Okay. No issues. So let's take example of 2020 then. Okay. So for this particular row, what is month to date? So if I am on the 2020 January, right? What is month to date would be the January month of data, right? If I am on the February, so what is month to date is would be the data from 1st of January to 28th of February or 29th of February, whichever applies, right? For the month of March, what is MTD is my data from 1st of March, right, till 31st of March, or the date in which, let's suppose currently I'm in the month of April, right? 2022. Consider that you have 2022 as a filter, right? And in the table you have 2022 because that got filtered from your outer filter context, which is coming from your slicer, right? The year is 2022 and you are in the month of April. So for April month, what should be your month to date? That would be the data from 1st of April till today date, right? Month to date, 7th of April. Making sense? What do you understand
That
by?
means
Yes.
in particular month data in that year, right?
Yes, but
MTD means.
yeah, MTD means what's your current month? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if I ask you what is MTD, so MTD would be there. Let's suppose there is no filter context coming from anywhere, right? What would be the MTD? I'll search what's my current year, that is 2022, right? What's my current month, that is April. So MTD for me without any filter context, let's suppose there is no filter coming from anywhere, right? Consider this situation first. There is no filter coming from anywhere, right? What's my MTD? I'll see what's my current year, that's 2022. Okay, what's my current month, that's April, and what's my current date, that is 7th, right? 7th of April. So my MTD would be 1st of April, the set of dates from 1st of April till 7th of April, right? What would be my MTD tomorrow? That would be the list of dates from my 1st of April 2022 till 8th of April 2022. Getting my point, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
That condition would be applicable if there are no filter contexts, right? I have no filter slicers, anything on the either the filter context coming from table. I have nothing. I'm just putting that particular calculation in a card where there is no filter coming out of inner filter context and there is no slicer on the page to filter that, right? That is MTD. But let's suppose if we have a slicer on the page, just like we have right now, right? So for 2020, right, I have a table in which I have pulled year and month information, right? So in that perspective, for January, because I'm in the current filter context, what we have is 2020 January, right?
Yes.
So it will allow me the data for complete January for 2020. So what is month to date in that particular condition? The list of dates available from 1st of January 2020 to 31st of January 2020, right? However, let's suppose there is 2020. I have a calendar table where we have 2022 figures, right? And in I have filtered my data, my table for 2022, just like it is currently filtered as 2020. Let's suppose it is filtered at 2022. For January row, what's my MTD value? That should be the list of dates from January 1st till 31st January, February 1st February till 28th February, March 1st February till 31st March. But for 2022, we are having data till, so currently what's today's date? That is 7th of April. So if I ask you MTD for April month, what it should be? It should be 1st of April.
April 1st to April
7th.
7th.
Yes.
Okay.
Right. So that is the difference. If you are in a past historical period, you are checking that would be the data for complete month. Okay. However, if I ask you, what is YTD? YTD is like your list of dates will start from the start of the year, which is 1st of January, and it will be continue with the, so currently if I ask you for the current year 2022, what would be the year to date? Would be your 1st of January till 7th of April. Getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it
Okay, for the past year, what would be your YTD? That would be your 1st of January 2020 till 31st of December 2020.
December 2021.
2020. 1st of
Yes, sir.
January 2020 till 31st of January 2020. So this is the difference between YTD and MTD. And what is quarter to date, right? You don't, okay, you have the quarter information as well. Let me select that. A second.
Yes, sir.
You have to select it. It's on your screen. Just select
Yes,
the
sir.
table.
Yes.
In the
So
table,
where I
in the table. Select the table first. Pull the quarter to the second place. Before month name. Okay, fine. So over here, what would be a quarter to date? If you are in the first quarter, right? So let's suppose for this particular row, what would be the quarter to date? It would be your sum of your January data, you know, the list of your January dates, the complete month, list of your February dates, and your March dates. So that would be for quarter one. It will give you the dates from you know, January 1st till 31st of March. For quarter second, 1st of April till 30th of June. Okay, this is quarter to date. And let's suppose you are in current quarter, which is the second quarter, because your first quarter ends on, you know, March 31st. So now your quarter to date would be 7th of April, because this is the first quarter. Once you are in the second month of the second quarter, then it would be, let's suppose you are on a date called 28th of May. Then quarter to date would be your list of dates starting from April 1st till 28th of May. Getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just give me a moment. Let me see if I have call today or not. Or else if I'll be having, okay, we are having call today, so we can, so tomorrow will not be a session on morning, right? If I get time, we'll have a session in the evening, right?
Okay.
I'll notify you guys in the afternoon, like, or maybe in the evening, 1 hour before, if we have the session over the WhatsApp group. Okay. In morning, I'll not be able to, you know, give you session for tomorrow, because I have to be in the office tomorrow.
Okay.
Fine.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Everything is clear till now, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes.
Okay. I think I'll wait for a minute. I think there's no one in the call. We can continue for our session.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, you can share your screen again.
Meeting over हो गई.
One second.
Hello. एक मिनट पहले.
अच्छा, 1 मिनट पहले. आज बड़ी जल्दी खत्म होगी. सारे ऑफिस में ही है ना?
बैठे हुए.
आप नहीं गए ऑफिस?
नहीं, मैं नहीं गया.
कल जाओगे?
देखता हूँ कल नहीं तो फिर नेक्स्ट वीक तो जाऊंगा. अच्छा,
मैंने तो सीट बुक कर दी फिर कल की. कल तो जानी है मुझे. तो
मैंने भी कर रखी है. कल को रिलीज कर दूंगा. वो तो क्या हुआ, शाम तक देख लेते हैं.
अच्छा, रिलीज कर सकते हैं?
हाँ, रिलीज कर सकते हैं.
ठीक है. आपको कैब वगैरह मिल रही है?
मैंने अभी कैब देखी नहीं. मैं तो बाय कार टंगा कर खुद की.
अच्छा अच्छा, सही है. चलो, आप नहीं जा रहे हो
यार. अभी कैब का वही है, कैब के लिए फिल करो सब. एक हफ्ता लग जाएगा उसमें, अगले मंडे तक. अब फिर देखना पड़ेगा उसमें भी. कैब के चक्कर में वेट करना पड़ता है बहुत. ट्रैफिक में भी खड़े ही रह जाते हैं. मैं तो पता नहीं कहाँ से निकाल के कहीं से निकाल के पहुंच जाऊंगा.
आप आते कहाँ से हो? मतलब
क्या?
आप कहाँ पे लोकेटेड हो अभी वैसे?
द्वारका.
द्वारका से आओगे? सही है. द्वारका में कहाँ?
सेक्टर 12.
ओके, सही है. सही है, हमारा साथ हो जाएगा. वैसे मैं चाहूँ तो फिर उस तरफ से भी आ सकता हूँ आपके साथ ही बाद में, अगर आना पड़ा. वैसे तो मेरा मन नहीं है ऑफिस जाने की. घर से तो काम हो ही रहा है भाई।
तो मैं एक दिन जाऊंगा, एक्सेस कार्ड चाहिए, वो DLF का और ID कार्ड चाहिए, इसलिए जाऊंगा। बाद में कभी देखते हैं, वैसे तो घर से हो ही रहा है सब।
हाँ वही तो, घर से ज्यादा मतलब ज्यादा टाइम भी मिल जाता है ना, ऑफिस से तो फिर कहाँ, ऑफिस में फिर बातें ही बातें होती
ट्रैवल
है।
में ही रह जाएंगे फिर,
हैं?
ऑफिस जाएंगे तो ट्रैवल करने में ही रह जाएंगे।
हाँ फिर।
लास्ट वाली कॉल कैसे अटेंड करेंगे फिर?
हाँ ठीक है ब्रो, चलो
ओके।
चलो बाय बाय। Okay, guys, so you understand, right, what is MTD, what is QTD and all? QTD is clear to
Yes, sir.
everyone? Okay, so now the question comes how to calculate these YTD or QTD, right? So okay, do one thing, include your number of shows over here in the same table. Number of shows.
Sir, in which row or?
You need to just select that in the values. You cannot pull that over. No, not from here. The number of shows which you have calculated, the measure.
Okay.
Right, this is the shortcut. I don't want, these are called implicit measures, right? You should only be using your explicit measure. Create a measure for this, right? Okay, so in your first row, what's you are getting is 1890 for your 2020, right? Just do one thing, calculate some measures like number of shows YTD, create a new measure. Write down number of shows MTD. Okay, write down calculate. So you have to use calculate in most of your calculation, right? I already told you earlier many times that the calculate is used to modify the context. Show number of shows, like number of shows, include number of shows measure. Yeah, first of all, it's a yes, correct. You remember like what I told you, give a comma.
Yes.
Fine, so what you have to do, if I pull number of shows in over there, just like we did earlier, right? What it is doing, it is filtering your data. July is filtering your data, right? The filter context in the table is filtering your data. But what you want, this to be done is that, okay, give one thing, write down MTD, dates MTD. There's a function called dates MTD. Write down that. Fine. So over here you have to give just one thing. Dates MTD, your calendar date, include calendar date. Close this, close the parenthesis twice. Fine, enter. And include this in your measure. Include this in your measure.
The new measure.
No, in the table, sorry. in the table. Include this in the table. Just select it. Just click on the checkbox. It will automatically be included. Fine. So what you are saying over here is do one thing, remove. Okay, it's fine. Fine. So in 2020, right, what you are seeing is 161 in MTD. Why so? Anyone can guess why it is 161 in 2020. Don't know. Okay, for if you are on a year, right, the filter context is coming from year. So for an year, what would be the last month? December, right?
Yes, sir.
So for 2020, there is no month in the year column, in the year row, right? 2020. Okay, so why you are seeing 161? If you see, move to your left one, number of shows. In December we have 161 total. Getting my point? So for 2020 year, if there is no filter coming from month or quarter, right? So for this, what would be the month to date? It will go to the 2020 year. It will go to the last month, which is December, and see what's the data from December 1st to 31st of December. Right? Getting my point? Everyone is clear on this?
No, Deepak.
Okay, what's the doubt?
Didn't get your point.
Okay, so month to date is like when you are on a year, 2020. Fine. So what would be the month to date? For 2020 year, as you do not have the information, 2020 for the first row, if you are seeing 2020, right? So it will see the 2020 year, right? As there is no what you call it, month information, right? What do you understand by month to date? What's my today's date for 2020? What's your today's date? If you consider what's your today's date, the 2020 is already over, right? So what would be the maximum date for 2020?
So 31 December.
31st of December,
31st.
right? So if I
Yes.
ask you to calculate the month to date, so what it will do, it will go to the 1st of December until 31st of December. It will count the number of dates, right? Getting my point now? Why it is
Yes.
161 over there?
So this one, because it is.
Yeah, because for the year 2020, right? Because for the year 2020, right? What would be your last maximum date for 2020 would be December, because that is already over, right? That's completed. Am I right? So what would be the maximum date? And if I ask you to calculate the month to date, so last date is 31st of December. It will go to the first of that month and then calculate the month to date. So this is the reason, if there is no filter context from your table, if you pull the number of show MTD in any particular card visualization, it will show you 161 over there. Try it. Have a card on the page and pull this information. Select the card first, I think. Yeah. Now pull your number of shows MTD. No need. You cannot pull any attribute. There is no filter context, right? From the current visualization, but there is a filter context coming from your outer filter context, which is 2020 year, right? So for 2020 year, what is the maximum date? Maximum date is 31st of December, right? And 31st of December, what is the number of shows if I particularly talk about month to date, your current date is 31st of December. What is month to date? Starting from 1st of December till 31st of December. Okay, so that is the reason you are seeing 161 over here. Okay, unless suppose you are on the first quarter. Okay, now you are on the first quarter. What is the maximum date for the first quarter? That is 31st of March, right?
Yes, sir.
That is the reason what it is doing for month to date. It will go to the 31st of March. That is your maximum date till from 1st of March till 31st of March, right? That is the reason you are seeing 136 over there, because the number of shows for the complete March month is 136. Getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Why on first quarter row you have
Yes.
136?
For in March, this one.
Yeah. Don't consider this one. Consider your number of shows.
Okay.
Right, that is your MTD field. Number of shows is your current month, March. What's the numbers in March month? What's the number in January month? What's the numbers in February month, April month, May month, June month, right? So that is why you are seeing 136 in the first of quarter, because for number of shows in March it will automatically count. Just give me a second.
Shivani, I'm not able to see your screen. Can you please share again?
Okay.
Thank you, Shivani.
Okay, so over here you have, that is the reason you are seeing the numbers for March in the first row, right? 136. And same applies for June, because for the second quarter, what is the maximum date? That is 30th of June, right? It will calculate what is the number from 1st of June till 30th of June, and then it is showing on the second row. Okay, getting my point, everyone? And now let's do one thing. Calculate, open that, the same logic, number of shows MTD1.
Yes,
Copy
sir.
this and create another measure and paste it over there. Right, and instead of have you pasted it? No, right? Just copy
Yes, sir.
it, create new measure.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now change MTD, instead of M, write down QTD. And dates, dates MTD is there, right? Write down Q. Instead of M, just replace M with Q. Yeah, commit this and include this in the measure.
Deepak? Hello.
Yeah.
For 2020 year, 1st of December to 31st December is the MTD, right? That's MTD.
Yes.
For 2019, for 1st of December to 31st of December in 2019, that's the MTD, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, now understand.
right? So it depends because you have a filter contest coming from outside, which is year 2020, right? Else if there is no filter, then in that case, what would be the MTD? Then it would be 1st of April 2022 if you have that calendar date in your table, right? From 1st of April to 7th of April, 7 days only
Oh, for this year.
for the data you have. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay, okay, okay.
Okay. And what's next? Okay. So you have the QTD over here.
Yes, sir.
So if you see for 2020 year, right? In 2020 row, right? What you have mentioned 477 as QTD. How it got calculated? For the complete year, what would be the last quarter? That would be the quarter 4, right? And if you see in the quarter 4 row, 477 is mentioned, right? Number of shows. See the number of show field, 477.
Yes, sir.
Below that. Yeah. So how this got calculated? This is the sum total of October, November and December. So this is fourth quarter 477. And that is the reason you are seeing 477 over there in 2020 row. Because for 2020 year, what would be the last quarter? That would be the fourth quarter, right? And fourth quarter starts from October, 1st of October till 31st of December. So what is the sum total of that? That is 477, which you can match it from here. Getting the point?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes.
What's the glitch over here? If you see for the first row, you are seeing 466, 466. Why this is matching? Because for first quarter 2020, right? Your this is the sum total of 3 months,
Yes,
which
sir.
is 466.
January, February, March.
Yeah. However, for January, what is the quarter to date? For January, it is the number of shows for January month because it also shows the complete from 1st of January to 31st of January. That is the reason it is 219 over here. Okay. And for February, it is 111. However, if you see over here, that is 330. So how it got calculated? This is the sum total of January plus February. Okay.
Yes.
And over here in this particular row, 136, 466, the sum total of these three. Okay. That is the reason you are seeing 466 over here. However, for the month of March, it would cumulative sum of 460, these 3 months for the first quarter. Same applies for second, same applies for third, same applies for fourth. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. In MTD, in QTD, in YTD, there's one thing. This is nothing. This is the cumulative total, right? If for 1 month you have 1, for next month you have 2, right? So for first month, the cumulative total would be 1. For second month, the cumulative total would be 3. It will add the, values basically. Okay. So, however, in case of MTD, YTD, MTD, QTD, and YTD, YTD will reset. The cumulative total will reset once the year end. QTD will reset once the total when the quarter end. So, if you see for QTD, for January 2020, we have 2019. February we have 330. It is the sum total of this. For March we have the sum total of these three. However, if you see for April, it reset, right? It again, calculating the 181 rather than just adding 181 to 466. Getting the point?
Yes, sir.
Right. So just calculate the number of shows YTD. The same way which you did for QTD. First you have to copy. I think you already copied it, right? Paste it. Yeah, instead of MTD, just change it to YTD and over there, dates YTD. So if you can see for 2020, why it is 1890, it is the sum total of complete year, which is 1890 over there, right? For the first of quarter, right, 466. What it is doing, it is, 219, 330, 466, and then it is adding 181. So that is the reason you are getting say 647, 806, 965, and so on. So once the year end, this total, this cumulative total which is going on, that will reset to the initial value for the next 2021 year. It will not add that January amount to the total of this, right? It will be restarted. It will have the January numbers only, then February, January plus February, something like that. Getting the point?
Yes, sir.
Fine. If you guys have so we can discuss the later, time intelligence function in our next session. So if there is anything, there is any kind of doubt, you can ask me. Any doubt, anyone, before we end up our session today?
Sir, how to get this result?
How to?
Result.
Your voice got
Number of show. Sir, how to get this result whole in one column only?
in one column, like
This result whole number of show result in. It will be show in month, right in month. It will be showing result clear, but not in year wise. It is changing. So
number shows it is changing because there are different measures over there, right? The filter context is
yes,
changing.
sir. Yes, sir.
I didn't get your question basically. Repeat what did you
Sir,
say?
I am asking how to get MTD, QTD, YTD in one result.
Okay, so let's suppose if I select MTD, I'll get the MTD. If I select QTD and YTD, then so on, something like that.
Yes, sir. In one column, I have to find all all in one column. YTD, QTD, and
We'll discuss that later, that we can done. So basically
okay.
that would be done on the basis of, let's suppose, a slicer on the page. If I select QTD from there, I just have one column, right? Which is the, that is dynamic. So based upon my selection, if I select QTD, right, from that slicer, the same values will be changed to the QTD, number of shows QTD. If I select MTD, the same will change to number of shows MTD and QTD as well, right? So we'll do it later. There's a function in Power BI called switch. With the help of that, we'll be able to do that.
Okay.
Okay, we'll discuss it later. I'm going step by step.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, any other questions?
No.
Okay, anyone else is having any questions before we end up our today's session? Nothing? Okay, I consider your silence as you know everything. We can wrap up for our session today. Thanks everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Bye, sir.
Welcome. Bye-bye.